Influence on lifestyle. The first point was caste system. From Vedic times, society was well structured, with groups who played a cooperative, harmonious, coexisting role to serve the needs of education, protection, livelihood, service of individuals and society at large. In this Chaturvarnya system, Vallabhacharya was firm believer of Gita teachings that a person's occupation or contribution to society, which is called class, was not dependent on birth but by qualities of an individual based on your inclinations and passions of work. One could be a Brahmin who is a scholar, intellect, philosopher, thinker, or a Kshatriya soldier, administrator, judge, ruler, etc. A Vaishya who is a farmer, businessman, trader, etc. Shudras, service to others, doctors, nurses, environment safekeepers, etc. However, during Vallabh's time, only birth was a determinant of one's caste or occupation, and there was no consideration of person's inclinations or innate qualities. But Sri Vallabhacharya recognized this problem and began to accept a person's natural inclinations and gave examples from Vedic periods such as Vishwamitra, who was a son of Kshatriya, rose to the position of Brahman by his austerity. Srimad Vallabhacharya was of the opinion that a person of more service-oriented inclination deserved the highest recognition for their selfless service to God and society. Most importantly, Sri Vallabh felt that no matter what class one feels they fit in, the rendering of service to God is the purpose of their birth. In other words, your birth with God-given talents and inclinations should be utilized in the service of God. In the 84 Vaishnavas text, which describes the life of the nearest devotees of Sri Vallabhacharya, it has been clearly revealed that intermingling of various groups, no matter which caste, was common, especially when coming together to serve the Lord or his devotees or the needy. There are documented examples within these 84 Vaishnavas devotees that reveal caste was not a barrier to marriage. In fact, Srimad Vallabhacharya taught that the devotee of the Lord are all equal and should never insult or injury apradha to any Vaishnava. Furthermore, he taught his followers to remember assistance given by devotees and advised always to serve devotees, and that service to a devotee should be what the devotee needs. The second point is woman's status. Srimad Vallabhacharya regarded women equal to men and pointed to the Vedic period as confirming that both men and women took part in religious ceremonies, yagyas, sacred thread ceremonies, debates like Maitreyi and Gargi, etc. Due to influence of Muslim civilization, women were severely affected, and Sri Vallabh once again emphasized that it was the quality of a person, not gender, that were key. The quality of love, steadfastness, self-control, penance are suited for devotion whether men or women. However, just being a woman did not automatically qualify you for devotional life. The qualities that he enumerated through were exhibited in the gopis of Vraj, who he designated as the gurus to the path of grace. Somehow, the false barriers that limited women from studying and debating the holy scriptures and partaking in religious ceremonies at the time were lifted, as Vallabhacharya pointed to, examples within the Vedas, Purans, and historical texts like the Ramayana and Mahabharata that women regularly were involved in such activities. Furthermore, he discouraged the practice of sati and accepted prostitutes in devotion. He could point to Lord Shri Krishna's own life and teachings to boldly proceed with such decisions that were against the norms of the time. Yet, this attracted seekers who had been discouraged to find God or discover their true self because of arbitrary religious and social barriers. The third point is art, music, and dance. The free expression and exploration of art and music was also suppressed by false socially and religious constraints. Art and music, in Sri Vallabh's view, are instrumental in the service and realization of God. The main aim is to express and experience love of God. That is why Pushtimarg has such a rich array of arts and music, from pitchwise, painted backdrops or paintings, artis, sanjis, malaji, etc. Music is also rich with variations of moods and tunes based on time of the day as well as season. Surdas and Kumbhandas ji famously replied to the great Emperor Akbar that they only sang for God and none other. The emperor was impressed with their braveness and fearlessness and took no offense. Dance also, as noted with the meaning of Ras Leela episode, also was elevated to high level. Thus, Vallabhacharya revived art, music, and dance, which up to that time was becoming mundane. Now, in Pushtimarg, it is richly used to please, express, and experience love of God. The fourth point, wealth. Earning wealth for upkeeping a family is one of the pursuits of humankind that should be done according to Hindu tradition. Srimad Vallabhacharya treated poor and rich the same with equal right to the path of grace. Srimad Vallabhacharya himself lived a simple life with few belongings. He donated all the money to others upon being gifted large quantities of gold coins by the king of Vijayanagar when he defeated the Shankara and Madhava tradition scholars. On another occasion, a devotee by name of Narhar Das attempted to gift to Sri Vallabh large sums of money, but he refused and asked him to present it to Lord Jagannath. Gifts that he thus received from devotees, he would have them be used in service to the Lord. In addition, he refused to accept any untruthfully or immorally earned money in service of God. He felt money was just a means to help in the service of God, but more important is the loving service of God. Money was not to be used for sense gratification, but the gratification of the Lord and His devotees, or the creation in which He resides. Purushottam Sheth is a famous example who exhausted his wealth while serving God when he built the first temple dedicated to Sri Govardhan Nath Ji. Vallabhacharya treated poor and rich without favorism, and he valued the richness of their devotion to good as the most important connection to him. Within his fold of devotees, one sees numerous examples of this.